lounging, son.
All right, welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan. Back with me again. I got my boy Eli with me.
What up?
Another issue of TMNT Vol.4. As we continue our read through of this fucking awesome series. I'm so glad that I remember so little about most of this stuff. So it's like almost a brand new reading experience. Like I'll remember bits and pieces as I'm reading, but it's been so much fun, dude. I know I say that every time, but this is like probably the most fun I have like recording is going through the Turtle comics. So
yeah, man, I agree. And again, as always, like I'm the same way, but then I'm also like completely blown away every time by Jim Lawson's art, the work on the duo shade boards, like everything that they do is so good in this book.
It's next level, dude. I mean, I just wish more people had access to it. Like I'm sure there's people that see the videos and like they've never even heard of this volume of Turtles, but hopefully something changes in terms of like reprinting it. I know it's not a complete story, but maybe I think we've talked about maybe they at least finish off a storyline like they did with Urban Legends and kind of wrap it up. That'd even be cool.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
I love this cover by Michael Dooney.
Yeah.
Splinter with the fucking sniper scope on him.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy, like like to see that, as a reader, you're like, what the fuck's happening? Is he getting hunted? Obviously, like as we'll see, like not necessarily.
But he's in the scopes. He's in someone's scope. Yeah.
They're looking for him, dude. I love this little, quick shout out to Michael Dooney talking about Gizmo. And there is a small Gizmo story in the back of this book. I was reading these this morning. I went and ordered all the Gizmo comics because I've never read them for whatever reason. So I just bought I think it's 6 issues, and then I bought Gizmo and Fugitoid also.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was like, I love that, he kind of like, Peter was kind of like nudging him to do some more, and that led to more.
It's a fun book, man. It's a really fun book.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into that. Maybe do some episodes on that in the future too.
Nice. Good, nice Fugitoid episode you put out there.
Yeah, I recorded it before we decide, like before we were doing the Turtles stuff.
Yeah.
And I had just been sitting on it. Yeah, so it's funny because when we talked about it in issue 5, like that I was doing an episode, or I had one done, I had it sitting on it for like weeks. And I was like, what? I'm gonna do a little break between.
I gotta get this out.
Yeah, I gotta put it out. So I love this. We open up with Jay, Shadow's boyfriend. Again, dude, like the level of detail, the foliage in here, the trees, like there's so much ink sling on this fucking page.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And it even gets better over the next couple pages, like on the next spread too. Yeah. These like what I would almost call knockouts, this like foliage with no holding lines, with no, inks. It's just duo shade. Panel 2 on page 2 and panel 1 on page 3. It's like, that is amazing masterclass in comic book making type shit right there. It's so well done.
Dude, I just love the layout. I love the quiet moments of it, where it's like you can just imagine that there is, it's like just like there's no dialogue, it's silent where he is. And he's just chilling there. He's like trying to fucking see what the deal is with Shadow's fucking house, like in her family. Why won't she let me see them? And his I think it is kind of funny, it gets called out, is he doesn't have to use a fucking sniper or a rifle. He could use binoculars, but this is what he has, and he's fucking sitting there. And I love this shot too, because like you really show like how far away he is, like by making him so tiny in that back corner.
And you get a bird's eye view.
Yeah. And then this, like as he's fucking looking, I love it. It's just multiple pages, no dialogue necessary, no narration, just what he's doing if you've been reading the book.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love these shots right here, through the scope. And then this page right here, like where he finally sees somebody walking out, and then you see the sweat, and what the hell? Like that close-up shot is so good of his face.
Yes. So much emotion and so much like even terror on his face there. Like, ooh, what the hell?
And Splinter just chilling, dude.
Yeah, he's having his tea. He's like, trying to get ready to watch his stories. Like,
I
what
just love
kind of
this.
freak show? He's like, falls on his ass. And he's just like, and he's almost like he could maybe think like if he turns the pin or something, he might think like, oh, I'm gonna help Shadow. Like, what's this monster? Like,
Yeah.
do I need to like act?
I love that he thinks that the scope might be defective. Why would the scope make you think that a human being was a giant rat?
Yeah. Like your
Like,
brain is just like on the fritz. It's like, I can't believe the information I've just received. So like maybe it's this, maybe it's this.
yeah. And as he's chilling there looking, oh wait, maybe it's a costume, and like all of a sudden you see metalhead's fucking like
Yep.
his
Yoink.
hair coming through, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. He really like wields his hair in this episode, in this issue, like really well.
Yeah.
Just to show that he's like a force,
Yeah, I think it's what's pretty crazy. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even notice this till just now, but the tree, like how the branches are off to where it almost looks like they use it for training.
Oh, it really does. Yeah.
I didn't notice that before. I didn't notice it until I
Oh.
was looking at him, because I was like, wait, how is he chilling right there? And
He
his
has a
hair's
little
wrapped around.
course. Yeah, he has a course that he set up in the woods so
Pretty crazy, dude.
he can hair thwip around.
Yeah, I like that. I love this particular page.
I do really enjoy how many stories are going on in this book, and like they just continue to like diversify the story.
Yeah, it feels, because to me it has a very like episodic, like television show type deal, where there is, because that's what you get in like a show that has a large cast, right? Like you're gonna have like these different side stories, but Peter Laird does it in such a way that it doesn't ever feel like too much going on. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, and I think sometimes especially in comics, it can feel that way, where like you get lost in it. But I agree.
Well, there's a lot of leeway with the Turtles, man, because everyone who's reading this, I mean, maybe there's a few people who just came into this fresh, but like everyone has like 20 years of Turtles memories in their head. So there's no backstory. There's no, like, you don't have to really tell anyone anything about these characters. You can just jump around, dive right in, and like get going.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. All right, so they're back here and they're like, we must detain Miss O'Neill. And Casey's like, over my dead body.
Yeah.
I will fight. Hold
Love
my beer.
These buttheads made it. Hold my pack, babe. This could get ugly. I love his dialogue, dude. Like,
yeah. He's kind of like locked in this like 90s mentality, like, and that kind of becomes his character, how he's like the kind of like knucklehead from the movie where April's like, kind of like toots, excuse me.
Yeah, I know there's a certain charm to it, though. I don't know. I don't find it corny. I find it kind of charming. It doesn't seem out of place at all. The only thing that as I was reading it again, his last issue, we talked about it. The Turtles, so that they can kind of make them look like aliens, they get these tattoos or these markings on them. And they made a joke about, oh, we can't get different colored bandanas or like initials on our belts, but it took me a while to remember the symbols as I was reading who the fuck I was looking at.
Yeah, I'm continuing to forget myself.
Yeah, like this, obviously, like unless they say something to them while they're in the panel, like you kind of don't know. Like I know this is Leo now, based on my memory, and then I know this is Mikey with the looks like almost like a burger type thing, and then Donnie is kind of like the yin yang type symbol.
Okay, yeah.
And then Raph looks like almost like some sort of like weapon type symbol. But it took me a while. I had to read all of this issue and then almost all of the next one to fucking remember. I mean, that's neither here nor there. But I love this, like learning, they're going back and forth with the foot, not realizing like what's going on.
Yeah. Nobody's given anyone information, and really probably the foot doesn't know what's going on. They've just like been told if this alarm goes off,
right,
detain, and they're like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, we are foot.
Yeah, and obviously the foot are going to come more aggressively, but it's funny because the Uchoms are like, hey, come on, like, just chill the fuck out. Like, let's be reasonable about this. If there's no need to do this.
They never do that.
No.
Up, and guess what? It turns into a fight, and here everyone's like slowly getting into the battle, except for Donnie, really. Casey's throwing out some kicks. I love the vertical panels too. The layouts are always so well done.
Yeah, I love these. I agree. I love the vertical panels too. I think a lot gets done. You get like a cool angle of the fight, but he constantly playing with it with like the different angles. Like I love this panel right here where Leo's like, come on, let's try to keep this from getting out of hand. And Raph is just like, Leo, give it up. There's only one thing these jokers respond to. Yeah.
Here comes the rest of the goon squad, just like the old days. Yep. And they keep going, and Shadow's like, okay, Mom, hold my hat. I'm going in as well.
Dude, I love this. I love this. I forgot that she kind of like had been trained by them at this point, because like you don't really see that come across. And she just goes right out. She's like, oh, just like her father.
Yeah, she's got a double high kick right there, throwing. And April's kind of like, me too, dude. You don't hang around with these guys for 20 years without taking a few lessons.
So dope. She's like, I'm hardly helpless. I spent most of the last 20 years in the company of Ninja Masters.
Hiya, bam. And they're like, hell yeah, Shadow, nice shit. They just continue to talk as the like melee is going on. It's like classic Turtles. But Donnie's still kind of like holding out hope, like, guys, we need like a bit of reason here.
Yeah, I love how he like Casey's like, yeah, Grandpa Splinter taught her well, but let's not forget those lessons from dear old dad.
Exactly. The brute force.
And then I love this, the Utroms right here.
Yeah, they've got all those toys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For a little flash bomb. And they're like, oh God, no one can see. I like, you know, classic another Turtles thing. That's got to be Mikey being like, nice try, you dudes. He's always abbreviating and adding dudes.
Yeah. I love that he's like, you should have studied your basic ninjutsu textbook a little closer. We're trained to fight in the dark.
Yeah, they just go right back in.
Obviously, like Shadow and April can't see, or Casey either.
Yeah, Casey's probably still throwing punches, even though he don't know where they're going. But
Trump's reactions to this fucking crack me up, dude. They're like, well, this is ludicrous. Use the shutter bomb.
Yeah, they're just like, they will not stop these humans. We want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but they're just like being crazy. Wham. That got them. That got them on their asses. And then we got this very Kirby-esque chill the fuck out.
I know. I was thinking that exact same thing. That looks like a Kirby influence, that particular like pose and stuff, the way the hands are coming at you.
Absolutely. Not the last Kirby influence we'll see on this issue.
Definitely not.
And then so they bring out this little like bio bed kind of thing, and they're just like, dudes, we found, you know, your body is racked with nanobots. Dun dun dun. Nanobots will return in future episodes.
Yeah, I think that this is I mean, look, they and the Utroms are like, hey, look, they were correct to attempt detaining her. They just didn't have to go. They could have used a little more finesse, you know, like they're trying to stop what, I mean, who knows what the reason is that they're keeping the nanobots out, or why that's something that would make them kind of detain somebody. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, how did she get the nanobots inside her?
And of course, like, you know, most everyone else is like, oh, these turtles could be aliens, so we are going to treat them. But of course, the Foot are the only people on Earth that know these turtles are the turtles that they've been fighting for 20 years. So of course, they're going to give them an extra bit of shit. They're going to give them an extra bit of guff. And so, like, you know, they're not immune to it. And so they definitely gave them extra shit.
Of course, yeah, they have a history, even though at this point in time, there's a truce between them, right? Like, there's always going to be that animosity.
Absolutely. And so they're just kind of like, you know, dude, you're going to have to get in here. We're going to have to run some tests. It's just how this goes. It's for your own good. You know, it's kind of like in the Star Trek transporters, you know, they can find any anomalous readings in your bloodstream, and it's just to help you, you know, like, did you bring something back from the planet that you were just away missioned on? Did you know, are you sick? Do you have anything, you know, or used in reverse ways in Picard season 3, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
That's not a paid ad. I wish it was a paid ad.
I know.
But yeah, I look, you know, obviously April has a little trepidation of getting this fucking box. I don't blame her. I mean, I'm not claustrophobic, but I don't know that I'd want to be put into a fucking box like that. Listen to a coffin.
At least it's got a window.
Yeah. And you know, Donnie's gonna go with her to make sure she's okay. Because they're gonna figure out like what the deal is with this.
They're like, we just got to get down to it. And he's like, just try breathing square breathing.
Yeah.
In through the nose, out through the mouth. And then they head off, and Donnie's like, dudes, just chill. This is my field. Give me a sec. I'll take care of April. We got this.
Yeah. I love this. If these jelly heads try to hurt you. And then
that's like racism. I feel like that's like
it is a little
Trump.
Yeah. But April's like, can you just fucking basically just don't tell him, chill the fuck out. I don't need you making things worse like you tend to do,
Yeah.
And it's those like little back and forths. It's so simple in the dialogue, but it just shows like it tells so much about the characters, with just those simple little moments.
I definitely want to shout Jim Lawson out for. I think this is an artist a characteristic that he does a lot. All these lines on the ground, these kind of squiggle lines representing like, just the texture in the ground. It's such a Lawsonism.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I definitely tried to swipe in my own art. It's so well done. I love it.
I do. I like it as well. Nobody. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I don't think I've ever seen that.
All right. He's like, all right, Shad, guess we just got to chill. And then we're back to this almost like bio horror, like in the woods. This could be from any like Nightmare on Elm Street or like, maybe not Nightmare on Elm Street, but like Friday the 13th movies, running in the woods, away from this, steely character that's just chasing him. Like this character seems to have no emotion, nothing on his face except like the chase. It's crazy.
Yeah, he hasn't said a fucking word. Like if you weren't reading a Turtles comic, like this would look like a horror movie. Like this dude's just coming with this like tentacle hair and he's just following him through the woods.
Yeah. Specifically like messing with him. Like I feel like any uncle would do to this guy who's trying to date their niece and being a creep and creeping on their house,
Yeah.
And he just still coming at him and he's like, oh, stay back. Tries to like hit him with a piece of wood and he just like turns his hair into a damn buzz saw and cuts it right in half. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean, that's the language of comics. Like at first you're kind of like, what's happening there? But it's like immediately what's happening because this is comics. You don't need any explanation.
Exactly.
Then we're back in the waiting room and we get a cameo of a character who's long forgotten, though part of me doesn't remember exactly where this character's from, though I do remember there's a whole episode, there's a couple issues of Tales Volume 2 that introduces their relationship, where I think it's a whole issue of just like a fight with them two that I think maybe sets up the history of it being like in Volume 1 times.
And he has is he the one that's in that Leonardo Blind Sight?
It might be. It actually might be.
Because I know what you're talking about. There is an issue that is also in that style where it's just like black and white images. It's not really like there's no real line work. It's mostly shadow. And then that book
that spun off into the
Leonardo miniseries. I feel like that's where this character was introduced because I don't remember him before. And it's not like it's because like they always put the little asterisk and like tell you which issue this was from, but they don't do it in this with him. Like they don't call back to a certain fight that Leo had with him.
Right. This says his first appearance is this issue.
Okay.
But that they first met when they were 6, when Leo was 6.
What?
So they set it back up with this like Tales from the TMNT flashback story.
Okay.
But I'm not seeing exactly.
Oh, that's weird when they were fucking 6. Like, how does that even...
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so Tales from the TMNT number 28, it looks like, is the story of that. Volume 2, number 28.
So I don't have that issue then.
Looks like Tales number 6, 28, and 69 all feature Cha.
So 6 I have then. I think I have 6.
That's the big one. That's the one where his face is on the front.
Okay.
Yeah, we might have to dig into some of those.
It's a good ish.
Yeah.
So we got them in the waiting room and stuff.
Yeah, and it's at the end of this page where he's like, dude, is that... Oh, no. It's at the... Oh, I jumped the gun. Oh, no, it's right here. Where at first, sorry, if you're ready to...
Yeah, I'll flip.
They're talking about this book, which is just a great detail. Whether like it's the first English translation of this Utrom children's book, Guide to Intelligent Species in the Galaxy. That's the kind of attention to detail that would actually be happening if like a malevolent, did I use that right? Where a non-violent aliens came to Earth, we would like get their books and TV, I'm sure,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. And then you see Raph asking, is like, isn't he? And Leo's just like, yes, it's him, Child Joe. And like just like that, the way that Leo is in the foreground, in that I don't know, I love that particular image of him, and like you can see by this dude's look, like he's got this scar on his face, which I can only I don't remember, but I'm assuming Leo did that fucking to his face.
I'm pretty sure.
We got Fugitoid and one of the Utroms coming in, and they're
bad
gonna
news.
Bad news. No immediate danger, but they found the stuff in her body and how it's affecting her.
Yeah, I love these paintings in the background of the waiting room. That's some Utrom art there, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty far out. All right, yeah. So then they begin the information and the download of like, when did this happen? When could this have happened?
It's crazy, dude. Like to call back. I mean, look, they're saying they're giving a history on Stockman and how they would have like these like human scientists helping them with their stuff, but they had to let him go because he stole some shit.
Yeah.
But they just like wrote him off. And like, what does he end up doing afterwards? He ends up fucking creating the Mousers, like, so to have that callback to a character we haven't seen since Volume 2, which is where, like that was what on this following page we talk about. But look, they're like, oh man, we have, he's the dude that almost killed April with those damn Mouser robots. Issue 2 of Volume 1.
Yeah. And it gives a little bit of history, like he was already working for the Utroms. That's not necessarily something they say outright. And that work probably led directly to the creation of the Mousers. How he was able to have a little bit higher technology was probably through the Utroms, that's like, that's interesting.
Yeah, makes sense. And then like, you have, his he was in prison, put his fucking brain into a robot body, and he injected her with something or stabbed her in the shoulder is what they thought. But obviously, like now we know nanobots have been in her body for all these years.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that's the final word on. And he's just kind of and Casey's like basically stunned. He's like, and then he's like, oh my God, is that why we can't have a baby? And they're like, dude, chill. Like, we gotta, trace this. We gotta figure out what's happening because, for Casey, that gives him a bit of an answer to what's been going on. They've been going through a lot of shit. And so for him, it's like a little bit of like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And like, they're like, well, look, I mean, he is the type of sadistic fucking person that would do something like that. And like it is affecting her nervous system and stuff like that. So it is possible. They don't give a definitive answer. But I love this too, dude. You look at how happy this he fucking looks in the bottom.
Yeah, panel. He's like, they got bad news.
Mm-hmm.
They were back in the woods.
Yeah.
He's just like, they're just messing with him so hard.
Well, look, he looks like he's almost created like this like spear type thing with his head, like he's about to attack Jay.
Oh, true.
Until he's told to stop, so Steve Stainless Steel is this dude's name.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
And he tells him to stop. He's like, oh, thank you so much, blah blah blah. He's like, this thing was trying to kill me.
I love these fingers that Lawson does too. Another like stylistic choice that no one else does. Got this kind of like square tip, just like, I don't know, man, I love Jim Lawson.
I know, so do I. Huge fan.
And he's just like, dude, you gotta chill out. This guy, we're messing with him, but like maybe a good place to start with you telling us is like, why were you trespassing on our property? What's going on, bro? And then he kind of lays it out like, dude, I know who you are. I know you're trying to date my niece. And he's like, whoa, you're Shad's uncle? That's kind of cool. And he's like, no, you're not out of the you're not out of the gate yet, buddy.
He brings out this fucking gun that's just destroyed.
Yeah. You're still in the frying pan, buddy. Dun,
Great.
dun, dun.
Yeah, great spot to end because you have no idea, like as a reader, like, well, what are they gonna do with Jay? We got some letters pages, and we got some, like I
Yeah,
said,
shout out to Rosemary Reeve, who's still pretty active on the Facebook groups. I've got to meet her at a couple cons.
yeah, she was one of the people that wrote a letter in issue 1, I believe, right? That you pointed out, or issue 2.
Yeah, I think she
Yeah.
was.
And we got a little gizmo story here, and I'll just kind of like, really quick, just like show it off because I mean,
Yeah,
I'd rather
super
do it more.
Kirby-esque
Yeah.
and just fun. They're always like, they're kind of like street level sci-fi in a way that's like really cool. They interact with these big things, but they're always like,
Yeah.
they're mechanics. They're street
Yeah.
level.
Definitely do a gizmo episode, or when I get those issues, we'll do more dedicated. But yeah, another great issue of Turtles. And we got this cover preview for number 7. They're all dressed like superheroes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And then I love this on the back. We got the fucking the Playmates toys for the 2003 series. So we got Shredder and Foot Soldier, and that's
Peter says that it's his toy prototypes from
the prototypes. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, pretty cool though. Yeah. Another great fucking issue. Just so much fun going through these, dude. Everybody listening and watching, make sure you check out the previous episodes. I hope you guys are digging going through this with us. I know we're digging doing it. So follow Eli and Cosmic Line. All his links are down below, and Comic Lounge links down below as well. And hit the subscribe and bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. And on that note, we're out.
Peace.